This is Davy. Today it's our second episode, and we're going to spend amazing time with Eva. And so you probably don't know Eva. Eva is a tech recruiter. Is that the way you will describe yourself? And she's been working in tech for about 8 years. Yeah. And she has been recommended by our amazing guest last time, Texidi. And I'm so thrilled. I want to know a lot about her, about how she got into that industry. And obviously, if you've been following the podcast, you know we're going to dive into some interesting topics for you, how you can learn from Eva to do that job, because it's not that easy in a way. You have to be creative. Maybe for her it is easy, but that's what she's going to tell us a little bit more about. So, Eva, welcome. I'm so thrilled. Let us know who you are and what is your journey and how did you get into the tech industry?
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me, and thank you, Teddy, for recommending me. Yeah, so who I am, I'm Slovakian.
Yeah.
I'm almost 33 years old.
Almost 33 years old.
Or
based in Amsterdam.
33 young.
33 young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based in Amsterdam. I came here around 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
I'm actively playing basketball. I mean, you probably cannot see it on the camera or cannot hear it, but I'm 162 tall.
Yeah.
So I'm fast and good.
Very tall and very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a great big family, and and how I end up in tech recruitment. Well, I studied sociology, and I kind of after school didn't know what I want to do, so I was just applying basically for any office job.
Yeah.
And I got lucky, and I got hired as a HR office admin for recruitment agency.
Okay, so you were part of an agency.
Yeah.
Okay. You always been working at agencies?
Yeah, that was my first job.
Okay, that was the first one.
Yeah,
okay.
the first official one.
Okay. Cool.
And there, part of my job was actually assist to recruiters, so pre-selecting CV or sometimes taking care of candidates when they would come in a bit sooner. So I need to talk with them. And over coffee or lunch, I would always talk with these recruiters, and they would always talk about their candidate experience.
And any question you will ask them regarding like what they do and no?
For me, it was always like, what? You're just talking with them?
Okay.
Serious? So you talk with people and you're finding them the job?
Oh.
Okay. It seems like I would like to do that.
Okay.
I love people. I love to talk and help them. Well,
yeah,
best combo, right?
Okay, yeah, that is perfect, especially with your background, and you're like, hey, let me get a shot at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then once at our company, we run some psychometric testing on our employees, and that testing showed that I might be actually really good with talking with people, connecting people, or connecting parties. And then after that, I asked my boss, it seems like I have natural talent.
The test showed that. So
I was young. I didn't know what I'm good in. So I asked her if she can give me a chance. Yeah. And she was like, okay, let's do it. But only what you can do are actually tech jobs. So,
okay.
And
I was, how?
Man, I was naive. I didn't know what's the difference between tech and not tech.
Yeah.
So I just was like, yeah, bring it on. I can do everything. Just give me the chance.
Okay.
So basically to tech scenes, I was brought by life and luck a bit. And basically I saw the opportunity, so I took it.
Yeah.
And here I am.
and one of the things that on your LinkedIn profile. I'm actually on her LinkedIn right now. It says, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
What's
He's amazing.
What is that? What?
Yeah.
That inspires you, I believe. But how do you apply that on daily basis?
It's
your
a
work?
wisdom for me.
Okay.
I really truly believe in that, and so I'm playing all my life basketball.
Yeah.
So there you see every time
Who's winning the NBA championship this year?
I still don't know.
Okay.
I always believe in everybody.
Okay.
And in basketball, you're gonna learn that you can have extraordinary talent or skills, but without your teammates, you're never gonna win.
That's true.
And then at work, it's completely same. You might have extraordinary, smart, badass developers, for example.
Yeah.
But till they don't know how to communicate with others, you will never get there.
Okay.
Because as well, those super smart people need to cooperate with maybe not that smart, let's say.
Yeah.
And the agile, for example, right now is super popular, right?
Yeah.
And agile is leading companies to be more productive, get things done.
Yeah.
But agile is all about collaboration and communication.
Indeed.
Because it's about cross-functional teams.
Indeed.
So you might be smart, but that's nothing when you cannot talk with the other peers.
Okay. And
so that's about that.
Okay, but then if I take your like how you enter that industry, that mindset you came with, and then I'm like, how did you survive? How did you get by in an industry you didn't know thing? You just didn't know what tech was, as you mentioned.
No,
and
I
I'm
didn't.
like, how did you get to know what was needed to get the job done?
Yeah, so of course, as every recruitment agency, they providing the basic training crash courses.
Okay.
So I got one for tech, but it was just about, okay, these are the jobs, what are the requirements, what does it kind of mean, and which keywords you're looking for.
Keywords.
Yeah.
Okay, it was about keywords.
It's always
okay.
about keywords.
Okay.
And then they just gonna throw you to the water.
Yeah.
So during my first phone screens, what I always did during the phone screens, because I was always interested in that, so I would always ask developers like, hey, can you tell me like what kind of, or what you would recommend to recruiter to know about technology?
Okay.
Or about your job?
You will call the candidate, ask that question while sourcing them, or you will
No,
just...
it would be during the interviews.
Oh, during the
or
interview.
The phone screens.
So you already pass that phase of calling them and then agreeing on an interview face to face. Okay.
Yeah, so how I would source them, it would be, of course, through the keywords.
Yeah.
And then I would just send some template my manager gave me.
Okay.
And then you get some answers. And when I would have them on the interview, I would always ask them, hey, can you explain me a bit more what actually means employment, or what it actually means programming? You know, I just started my job, so I'm a junior.
Just
I don't
gotta
know.
Be honest with the person, like, just let me know.
I'm not
more
playing
about
any game.
Yeah.
And that was all my life working for me, that I just ask if I didn't know. But as well, a lot of times I would ask them, okay, what do you think? What kind of technology is coming? And where are you actually reading about that? Or what I should know? Tell me some tips so I can be better recruiter next time. And, you know, they always help me.
Okay.
They always told me.
I think you just have to ask. There is nothing to lose right there. So if you just ask the question, I got recruiter calling me just asking, I know you're not looking for a job, but then I'm looking for this C# thing, but I don't even know what it means. And it's and you're like, okay, I'm gonna explain you because I know and I feel like it's kind of my job. I love that, but I feel like it's also the agency job to provide you probably something further than just keywords and like templates to work by. But
I think you can, with this attitude you have, and I'm really happy that you have it. It's like you can change that, let's say, bad recruiter to the good one.
Yeah.
Or that recruiter who doesn't know that she will know.
Yeah.
So you can change that game just providing somebody's information. Maybe I was initiative enough to ask for it.
Yeah.
But there are many people
But
who are maybe
that is
embarrassed.
part of who you are, in a way.
Yeah.
I get to know you for a few minutes, and I know that you will just go through that door and then get that information, in a way.
Yeah.
So that is kind of who you are. But then I'm like, what was the first industry, like part of in the tech world, within the tech world, what was the first assignment you got?
Yeah, so I got these ISP.NET guys.
Okay.
So in Slovakia, you mostly, that time, it was either Java or either .NET.
Okay.
As well for front end or back end, but it was mostly back end because, you were mostly building like a core application for big banks or big corporates.
Yeah.
The startup scenes was not really that time there. But I got a lot of ISP.NET. I think they were my first assignment. So I had a portfolio of 30 companies in Slovakia looking for ISP.NET, and it was really that time like, okay, this is your first job, so concentrate and go. And that was crazy. I was like Wikipedia, everything, .NET, ISP, all kind of tools I tried to find.
Wikipedia, all the things, and then as you browse, you discover new keywords. What is that thing? Another Wikipedia
I would
link.
have like 50 tabs open and reading, but still don't understand.
Okay.
But even though that I was reading, thanks to that, I would ask during interview the developer, well, I was reading this article, but I have to say, I just didn't get it. I read these keywords, but no sense. Can you please tell me?
That's
and they always explain it to me.
Have you ever felt like you contacted a developer back then, and then he or she answer like, yeah, you don't know the thing you're talking about? Have you ever had that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think my first interviews.
Yeah.
But as well, I was super stressed, and as well, I didn't know. Maybe I read 1-2 articles, but. Yeah, I didn't know. But as well, I always kind of stood up for myself. I said, well, I just started this job. Mm-hmm. So of course I don't know. And then a lot of times they were actually apologizing back. Like, oh, sorry. Okay.
Got it.
Like, silly girl,
Yeah, it's. I think
it was working.
I think the one of the frustration coming out of that love-hate relationship is the fact that you received that job description, and the person on the other side didn't do their homework. Just look for the right thing, and then it creates that bubble where we're in that bubble where people are like, I don't want recruiter to contact me, but that's because you have those false jobs or whatever things people put online, and then you also get that's my point of view, saying like you have this spamming thing. They just send a lot of emails changing the username and then that was not for me, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like, have you ever done that, or how do you go between customizing versus just sending that to? Because I heard there are two approaches, and I want to know yours and how do you go.
So regard what you say, like to be as well honest with you, my first interview ever was with developer who would tell me that yes, I do speak English, I did that tool and that tool. We went to the face-to-face interview, and then when I would ask him, so hey, do you speak English? It was like, no. Okay. And do you have experience? No.
That's...
So, you can blame other side. But
that's true. That's what I'm saying.
I would have a lot of time experience as well when developers say, there's something, but you didn't. Or maybe you heard it or read it. So it's like kind of same thing.
Indeed.
And when I first started as an agency recruitment, yes, I got just template. And I think what you have to understand is that many times, especially in agencies, you get crazy KPIs. You have to write 200 emails per week.
Per week?
Yes.
You
have to send 200 emails per week.
Okay.
You have to get, 10 phone screens out of it. And then I don't know how many need to
That's
go farther.
That's less than 10%.
And meanwhile, you have to do 4 hours of cold calling to get a new business or I don't know what. So if you imagine that per week you have to write 200 emails, well, you don't have time to personalize 200 emails while you have to as well source them, right?
Yeah, that is a lot of work.
Yeah. And then that's impossible.
Yeah.
And as well, and then your managers, especially when you're a junior, you're gonna get like a template. Like, okay, this is how we do the stuff. You are just tabula rasa, like a Jon Snow, you know nothing. So you just take it. And you just source 200 people, you get from manager template. Yeah. And you believe that template because the manager says so. I mean, he knows. I don't know, so I listen.
Okay.
So you get a template, you just... Well, that's 8 years ago. I clicked 200 times send. Now you can automate that.
Yeah.
And then you're waiting enthusiastic, okay, I sent the email. Yeah. Well,
am I going to get any replies?
And then you see it. Then you see, okay, no response or response I'm not interested. Delete my email.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? Right?
Yeah.
Or stop spamming me. Oh my God, I don't know what I did, right?
Yeah.
So as well, it really depends maybe from where you come and maybe what you were taught. But as well, with that crazy KPIs, you really cannot do quality job.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
So how did that evolve over time for you? How do you do that today? What are the things that makes Eva I'm talking with Teddy and then she's like, you gotta talk to these women. What is that thing that makes those people to look up to you?
Well, no pressure, right?
No pressure at
all. I do cold emails.
Yeah.
Why I think I'm doing it different is that I do put a lot of effort to write them. So it takes me sometimes days to write one template.
Okay.
I try to steer emotion. I try to make a candidate laugh.
Yeah.
I try to really show them what is it in for them.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the company about? I try to connect candidate with the company while reading that one email. Sometimes I don't have time for personalization.
Yeah.
And sometimes, honestly, I have sometimes really hard time to personalize something because I see the profile and I'm like, what I can personalize here? Okay, I don't want to be the one who's just changed the company.
Yeah.
Or what I would name the skill set. That's not personalization.
Yeah, I understand that.
And yes, okay, I would go on Facebook or Twitter. I would stalk them because we have tools for that. But sometimes I feel like I don't want to use it. I don't want to bring out that I know that something from
you were traveling in that country and I saw those pictures on Instagram and this kind of personalized thing.
I think developers don't mind to get these messages because they feel that you did your homework and you... But for example, me personally, I don't feel really confident to do that.
Yeah.
I don't like to, feel like a creep. But I do my homework and I would really try to understand what they want. And then I would bring it to, let's say, my template.
Okay.
But if I'm really confident about personalization, so I know, okay, this is a funny thing.
Yeah.
I definitely can use this. And I don't feel that I'm stalking.
Yeah.
That, okay, he would appreciate actually this one. I would definitely do it. Or if it's really specific profile. But if it's just average profile, and sometimes, you developers as well don't have really informations out there.
No. You gotta go. I mean, on LinkedIn, some would, but you gotta go to find that somewhere else on GitHub and all that kind of platform where.
And generally, you are not the type of person who's showing personality in that way.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really hard. Okay, I can use the tools for that because thanks to developers like you, we have these crazy, great tools.
Yeah, indeed.
but I as well sometimes feel like, I don't know, not to use it.
Okay. So I see your journey, and I'm like, I have two questions. First one is, which profile you had to find that was really hard?
Yeah.
Then you actually found it, and I want to know what are the things you did to actually, like an epic story of you trying to find Superman, and then you're like, oh, that doesn't exist. Let's just get someone else or whatever.
So I do have one actually even success story about the Superman. I just moved to Netherlands, and I think one of my first project I did. Can I actually name the company?
Sure, you can name the company.
Yeah, so I work for this Bold Mobility. Now they actually call different, but I forgot how. And they were like looking, they were like really early stage startup. They were like 3-4 guys coming from university, having this great idea, build a electrical app scooter.
Okay.
So, and it was amazing. And they want to build a factory and start producing all these scooters.
Okay.
But they didn't have even a prototype. And what they need, because it was as well like software / mechanical thing. So they need as well software engineers. So the requirements I got, like, okay, we need this person who is a software engineer. He needs to know Android, because the tablet on the scooter would be like from Android.
Yeah.
And he needs to as well meanwhile be actually, I don't know, JavaScript, front end, and mechanical engineer. I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Is that a requirement you get from a hiring manager? Like
sometimes you get that.
Wow. Okay.
But that time as well, it was specific for that type of company, right? So he needs to know C++, he needs to know Android, he needs to know some mechanical thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And meanwhile, they say they need to be from these specific universities. And we want somebody who was highly proactive during universities.
Oh, just ask them, give me the name of the person.
Well, they didn't know, of course.
Okay, because they're really going specific.
So they want somebody who is that productive that during studies, they were building these solar cars or solar boats, what in Netherlands people do.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know what. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my best to try that best one, but okay, probably we need to a bit like go down with requirements. So I did my like Boolean string, so with all kind of synonyms and or and ands and like not. It was really long, and I just like I put it in the Google and as well that time in the LinkedIn. So that time LinkedIn supported way more terms. So I put it there, and I had one result. One result.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I want this guy. I really want him. This is like that excellent candidate.
Yeah.
And so we wrote him an email. The subject line was Tesla plus Apple equal our electrical scooter or something like that.
Wow.
And then we really describe, look, we have this idea, this scooter will be faster, going farther, better. We are just like 4 guys and we need you. Like, man, you got everything what we need. And we made him laugh and make him connected. We gave him a great challenge with one email and he got interested.
Wow.
And he got hired, and right now he is, I don't know, CTO or one of the management there. So that was the success story.
Wow!
But there are as well many not success stories.
Yeah, you get that one is epic because how do you go and find that?
And this guy was that epic. He built a rocket, not a solar boat. He built a rocket. I think it was like 16 kilometers above it was flying. I don't know. Crazy. So we call him a rocket guy.
So on LinkedIn, you were able to find that person on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, but that time LinkedIn was less selective, let's say.
Yeah, okay.
Or more benevolent. So that time, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, you could use way more terms.
Yeah.
You could do Boolean logic in the search. Now it's way more about filtering and stuff.
Okay.
But it used to be pretty nice tool.
Yes.
But now they're really trying to monetize that.
Yeah, it's an epic story. I have a few more questions for you. I mean, way more than that. I love. So when you're looking for a candidate, and there is this shortage of talent in our industry, and then you're like, how can I be creative? What are the things that you need to do to separate yourself from the pack? And then a developer gets back to you.
That's a good question. So I think what I'm really good is to put myself to other shoes. So before I always write an email, or before I actually send the email I wrote, I always think, okay, I would like to receive this one.
Yeah, okay.
Am I laughing when I'm reading it? Do I like it?
Yeah.
And as well, I always think, like, if I am developer. So I'm trying to always imagine. So, okay, I'm developer. I have like 50 emails per day in my email box. Okay, so how I will gonna read mine? How he's gonna read mine? Okay, let's say he's in the toilet at the 7 something.
Okay.
Okay, I maybe have to send the email at that time.
Okay.
Or like thinking like when people open private
out
emails.
Of the box, yeah.
Or for example, I would think like, okay, when I'm working, I still have enabled notification on my notebook when my private email, something will come, right? But you have like 3 seconds. Like, so when I'm working, I would just look at 3 seconds and like, okay, not important. 3 seconds. And so then I'm always thinking, okay, how I'm going to make them look at it. I have to catch them in those 3 seconds. So I always do think, okay, subject line. You have to cut them.
Yeah.
Because those are 3 seconds.
For you, it's like that subject line there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a subject line.
Okay,
of course, first your message needs to be delivered.
So without giving too much information out there, what will be the thing? Like you will put there and I'll be like, oh, I wonder. It's okay if you don't answer that question because you don't want to give away your recipes and
no, there is no recipe.
Okay. Like just an example.
I'm not afraid to give a knowledge away. Yeah. It will push me to be more creative next time.
Yes.
Like once which one had like the most responses, but it was as well a bit tricky.
Yeah.
So I was working for the company called Inside It.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like with my colleague like, yeah, let's just write the email. And we said subject line, get inside me. A bit borderline.
Borderline. Wait, yeah.
But oh my God, there was I think 100% open rate, and we got a lot of answers. But in a way, like we got some angry answers, like, hey, that was really tricky subject line. I was like, really sorry, but we're really trying to get you aboard, so we do our best. Yeah, maybe it wasn't.
That opens
really
up
the
the
best
conversation
thing.
as well.
Yeah, but that was like too much. I have to say that was really too much, but it worked. But as well, like mostly something funny, I would go for a joke. It can be completely off the topic.
Okay. Do you in the tech world then do you do mostly like cross environment, like we say back end, front end? You do them all?
Yeah.
Okay. And which one do you find the most attractive to you, or the easiest for you, or is there any such a thing?
I do have like I think easier time with backend developers.
Backend developers, okay. What makes you think that? Is it like it's probably more of them, or I don't know. What would be the reason why?
Yeah, I think they can appreciate a bit that I don't treat them as weirdos.
Okay.
Or like introverts. I'm just mostly always talking with developers like they're me.
Yeah.
And maybe they appreciate a bit different approach. That maybe they're more humanish approach.
Okay.
That you don't treat a developer like another number, thanks to which you have a bonus, but you actually treat them as a human who as well can laugh, who as well maybe like silly things like Tekken or cats, whatever. So I think, I do like more backenders. But because as well, partially I am introverted by myself.
That doesn't mean that she doesn't like the other ones, but just like a preference. I'm just putting it out there then.
I would say that maybe because the backenders tend to be, but let's not generalize, of course. But tend to be a bit more into more details, into more like the back end of the thing. They need to see the logic behind, while on front end they're as well bringing the shine to the back end. So I think that way
I like that description, like back end and then the front end bringing some light on.
I think so. I think I would have more actually success with backenders.
Okay. And another question is about, so you have pretty extensive experience. You give talks. You've been on stage at many places, and you're gonna be. When is your next talk?
Well, it will be a sourcing summit in Tallinn.
In Tallinn. So, you're going to. It's when is it exactly?
It's a 6-7 June.
Okay. And what's gonna be the talk about?
So I'm actually talking about how to write compelling email.
Okay. So we're back to the email. Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, you always have to personalize.
Yeah.
If you know how and if you have what, always personalize. I would always recommend that.
Yeah.
But there are some people who are maybe not that good in that as I am.
Yeah.
Who maybe feel like they don't know what to personalize or how, or maybe they cannot be that creative in that. So then this speech is more about those people. So I'm a researcher.
Yeah.
So I've read hundreds books about copywriting, about persuasive techniques, about linguistic, and I'm trying to.
You're going really far in terms of polishing your craft, like Michael Jordan will do. Like, hey, I want to get every single bit right.
Well, I'm not like natural copywriter, for example. As well, I'm not native English. So then what I otherwise have?
Yeah.
Well, I cannot create email by myself, just improvising.
Yeah.
Well, then I have to learn to write it.
Indeed.
And then it's harder way, maybe longer way, but in the end, same good.
Yeah.
And maybe more polished. So that's as well the speech about to give them actually the tricks, which one I read about. Because there are phrases, for example, which one intrigue curiosity.
Yeah.
Which one intrigue triggering certain emotions, making people happy. Or there are words which one you can use to let them imagine smell of the coffee in your office.
Yeah.
And that in the end will connect them with your company.
That's true. But then that leads me to my next question about recommendation for the younger you, like starting in the industry and trying to get their head around.
Yeah.
What will be let's say 2-3 things that they need to focus and be good at to be able to succeed in that industry?
I would recommend younger me, don't listen to those crazy KPIs.
Don't get fired either, because if you don't, then,
What I learned is that follow these crazy KPIs led me to do a bad candidate experience.
Okay.
And bad candidate, and that always candidates backfire back to you. So if I think that if you give somebody bad experience, they're gonna give you bad experience back. So that means maybe that's why we recruiters have bad reputation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I would recommend quality over quality. It's a cliche word or a sentence, but it's really true. So I would really, spend some time, write that one template. Cold call, spam people, but at least with funny email or entertaining one.
Yeah.
Or some, not like...
We're all fighting for people's attention. Recruiter or whoever,
just grab it.
You gotta take that 10 seconds of, oh, that is something for me. Let me dive deeper. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, this is not for me. Delete and move on.
I think we forget that, and many recruiters forget that we are still people. But as well, I would sometimes hear some recruiters telling me like, yeah, but developers, they are like this, and you see them like a gods. Like, I was like, they're not gods, they're humans.
Yeah, indeed.
Like, come on,
indeed.
Treat them like a humans. When they treat you bad, treat them bad.
Yeah, that's true.
And as well, that's why they are maybe this negative, because you treat them like something more. No, treat them same way how you would like to be treated. So that's what I would recommend. Just come on, be human to them. Write them what you want. Don't lie to them. Don't hide stuff. Oh, come on. Just, it's useless.
It's a good advice. You have. You work for many companies, like I saw with your career. Which one has been the most fulfilling for you? Without bashing on anyone, it's just like I was there and I grew this height. I really learned a lot.
Yeah. Like during my career path, you asked, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a current one. But as well, once I left them, so I came back to that company.
Okay.
So the most definitely Level Up Ventures learned me the most.
Yeah.
But as well, they throw me to the water the most. But as well, there was a company where I could be always by myself. So clumsy and sometimes grumpy, and in any my mood.
Yeah.
And as well, where I was not pushed by KPIs, but by quality.
Okay. And you were basically sourcing tech people even there. Okay.
Yeah,
and
always.
Yeah, that is I mean, it's impressive when you think about the fact that people go from, it's just about recruitment, and then they just switch from one point to the other, and you've been in tech, and obviously for younger you, it will be like, what am I going to be 8 years from now that you didn't know? But it's impressive how you build such a strong and respectful career. And whenever I spoke with people, they're like, you got to talk to these women. So look, we're almost there. Do you have a point? Like, you learn a lot of stuff in the tech world, and then you're like, that thing is still blurred. Davy, tell me more about that thing. What will be that thing?
That's really hard questions. Super hard question.
If you don't have any, that is okay as well. But it's also part of this podcast.
Yeah.
Trying to because as a software engineer, we're building tools to help recruiters to better communicate with software engineers. So we're on the software engineer side, and we want to bring recruiters on the other side to make sure that bridge, we're able to build that together.
For me, it's like, it's not really a question about tech.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, okay.
For me, it's like, is it really the image you developers building about yourself? How like tough you are, or we are all introverted. We need just our computer. Is it true?
That's a good question. Okay, so it is not true. What I will say is that as you mentioned, we are human. So we have our specific trait. We are just human. Some people will, as you mentioned, a lot of recruiters put us in that position where we feel like, oh, if you're not calling me, someone else going to call me. So so many people want you, and so you feel that special. But no, it's not true. We're just human. If you're introvert, it's not because you're a software engineer. You will be introvert in another situation. I'm an introvert, born introvert, but I'm learning how to be out there, running a company, running a team, So all these things you learn as you go. But I think if that's the image you have from a software engineer, just remove that image in your mind, because it's not true. It's some people might be, but it's just the way they are. It's not because they're software engineers. And some people will just play that card to feel more special. That's it. That will be my answer there.
Yeah. And I would as well meet because you are right now in the position you are, right? You can pick any jobs you want or any company you want. And on the other side, I would hear from developers, no, for me, the product matters.
Yeah.
How I do the job. But in the end, on the interview, is like how much money I get.
Yeah, okay.
So where is the truth there, right?
So it depends. Yeah. It depends because I wouldn't go for the money. I got this huge offer once where I was like, oh, I can just stop everything with packages and then go there. And then I realized that packages it's my baby. If it was only about money, I would have been there and then forget about everything. But it's gonna really depend on people. Most of people will be like, give me the technology. Let me know what that technology is about. Is it new? Am I going to play a bit? Don't bring me this COBOL-ish thing. Bring me something that takes me to the future. That will be one thing. And then the product. I know a famous company in Amsterdam that use jQuery to build an amazing product. But yeah, the technology sucks. It does the job, but it sucks. But behind the scene, the product itself, it is an amazing product used by millions of people every single day. Some people will be like, I don't care about the salary. Give me that. I want to work on that product. Because later on, like someone who work at Facebook on a product used by billions of people, when they leave Facebook, that money thing will be there.
Yeah.
Because you have Facebook on your resume, or you have that amazing product you work on your resume. So it's
brand
really
collectors.
different. It's brand collector in a way.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, and then they go freelancing. Like I have people, they work for 2 years at Google, even though they were not working on this amazing part of Google, but it was just Google. Then you have the brand, and then the salary thing will follow. So I think it's, once again, a case-by-case situation there.
Yeah. And what's your opinion about... so there are many client-based companies.
Okay.
Which one have hundreds, thousands developers, right?
Yeah.
And these people need to code 1,000 strings and rows of code. But it doesn't have to be quality, right? Because in the end, that client gonna pay for maintenance.
Then it's also
and there are many developers like that.
What is the question?
So the question is like, what's your opinion about this type of developers?
I think it's not really about the developers. It's all about the focus of the company. I would say I work in that iteration mode when I'm like, I don't want that code to be perfect right away. I just want something that works.
Yeah.
Because when it works and you validate that that's what the customer wants, it doesn't matter if that code is not well written right away. You want that customer to pay for it. Then you put quality because you know that's gonna make money on the long run.
Yeah.
So, but if you arrive on the project, there enough budget and that you can iterate and put high quality thing there. I will suggest to, like, the people you put on that project and they don't take care of that quality part. They're just mercenary. They just
so they just do quantity because the business requires that, right?
Indeed.
And nobody's judging these developers, right?
No, they won't be judged because at the end of the day, the code they produce, it's not really at the end of the day will be replaced in a way or another.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So you said that sometimes it's demanded from developers not always deliver the quality code.
Yeah.
But quantity code because you just have to make something done.
Okay.
And at the same, But developers are, let's say, not hated for that because, yes, that's your job. You don't always have to deliver quality.
Yeah.
But same go for recruiters, right? There are many companies where they don't care about quality. They're asking recruiters, like, send these hundreds of emails. We don't actually really care.
Okay. As a software engineer, I will never, ever join a company that tells me, write that code and just make it write this thousands of lines of code. And no, I want to talk features. Maybe that features require 10 lines of code. Why would I have to write all these millions of lines of code? And sometimes you do have to do it. I work on a project. It's one of the biggest bank in the world. And we had to just be code monkeys because things need to be delivered. But back then, we had this process. It wasn't agile. It was basically you go just like top down, like there's this huge requirement, and no one asked question in between. And then suddenly they all discover what agile means, and then they're like, no, now we're going to talk about features one after the other. As a developer, if you still you're still in this position today, no, that's not the way things should be built. Yeah. Leave that company, leave that product, go on another team. That's just not. So I don't know really if I'm answering that question properly, but
no, for me it's like more like point out that the same goes for sometimes.
Yeah, true.
Recruiters.
True. So we have this little game. It's a 5 questions, like yes and no questions. So the first one is like, what are the main skills a tech recruiter should acquire to be successful? You kind of answered that already, but if you were to streamline that, so what are the main skills a tech recruiter should acquire to be successful in that industry?
So definitely the person needs to be curious.
Curious, okay.
Is it a skill?
It is a thing, yeah. You gotta be curious. Some people aren't, yeah.
Like, you like to have the detective puzzle thing.
Yeah.
I think
that is
but I don't
curious.
know how I would call that.
Yeah.
Curious. You're a researcher, so researching skills.
Okay.
Like
but
you,
it goes
but
with,
that's like
it goes with being curious in a way, but yeah.
Yeah. You have to be tech savvy, right? At one point. So
really, like if you take one of our guests, she said I wasn't at all, but then she probably built up those skills as she was.
Or you have to be like street smart then in that way. So I have a colleague who is definitely not tech savvy.
Okay.
But he did such a many interviews with developers or tech people. My God, he can pick up the buzzwords like better than I do.
Okay.
He can start talking like, and you do this and that, all technical terms.
Yeah.
And you are convinced that he's the best.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I think you have to be like street smart and you should adapt to people you talk with. You have to understand toolings and use
the tools that are provided to you to do the job.
You definitely need to be out of box.
Okay, thinking out of the box. Okay, perfect. So, how many hours per week do you commit on your personal growth? You mentioned reading, you mentioned other researches you do.
So by myself, but I'm a bit nerdy.
Okay.
So that would be not fair to say, but I think I do minimum a 10.
Okay, wow.
But
that's a pretty good one.
But I do love researching and reading books. So
if you were not a recruiter, what would you be?
That actually I'm asking myself recently a question. I would be a basketball coach.
Wow, I knew you would go basketball. I knew you would go to basketball.
I always want to be all my life a coach.
Okay.
And helping team grow.
Yeah.
So I always want to be basketball
coach. It doesn't have to be basketball then. It could be.
But I can be a team coach at work. But
nice. So, agency or in-house? This is one or the other.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's a tough one.
I think depends on who you are. So if you think more about the long-term results, then definitely go for in-house, but you do have to be patient.
Okay.
And if you are more into a performing, a result-driven, and short-term results matter, maybe a bit competitive.
Okay, agency will be the.
Then I would go.
Okay.
And if you're impatient as well.
So last question: is there a company out there you admire and you would like to work for?
I do admire a company called Publitas.
Publitas, okay.
Yeah, it's a small startup. Actually, they're 100% remote.
Okay, wow.
And
okay,
yeah,
got it.
They are great.
So we done. One more thing. Who's the person you would want to recommend? Like, I want to be sitting across a table that person and interview her or he, or who will be that person?
Yeah, normally I would recommend Teddy back.
Okay.
But
not Teddy. No, not you.
No,
okay.
Another recruiter I really like to talk with is either Tomas Javier. He's right now working for Molly. Before he worked for Binder.
Okay.
Or
is Amsterdam based?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is.
Okay.
And I have many more.
Okay, so we say again his name, the name of the
Tomáš Javier.
Okay,
of course,
Tomáš
the Slovak
Javier.
guy, you know.
Okay. So we get to you very soon, and if you were offered the possibility to host that podcast with him, would you do that?
Like together with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be funny.
Okay. So we have it. So thank you all, and thank you, Eva.
Thank you
coming.
very much.
Hopefully you enjoy that, and then we kind of learn from each other, from our two worlds. Really happy that you were able to come up with your questions, and this is one more episode, and hopefully people watching us enjoyed the content. So thanks again, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here.
Cool.
It was really great.
It was great. Yes. 5. Well done. Wow. Boom.
I talk too much, right?
No, it's great.